This award is proof that if you work hard, you can achieve your goals. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to A Common Sense Guide to Filmmaking, created by Better Than Pixar. I'm so happy to be here with you, and I'm very excited to have you here with me. I'm going to be teaching this course using examples from my newest film, The Book of Revelations. For those of you who haven't seen it, here are some short clips. This is a complete guide to creating your first film using the software iClone 7. However, the principles and tools that you learn in this course you can apply to any software such as Autodesk Maya, 3D Studio Max, Blender, Cinema 4D, and so on. Here's the course overview. This entire course is comprised of 3 sections. In section 1, we will go over the film theory. This will be a very, very short section. In section 2, this is where we're going to spend most of our time and is the bulk of this entire course. Section 2 deals with the application. Application deals with all the tutorials that you've watched from my YouTube channel, all the tutorials that you've watched from other channels. We're going to take all that knowledge and we're going to apply it in real world situations. You're going to learn animation, you're going to learn about cameras, rendering, render settings, editing, making a trailer, and you're going to learn about storyboards. In section 3, this is the final section, and a very short section as well. In section 3, we go over marketing and the business side of filmmaking. This is how to promote your work, how to get film festivals to watch your films, how to get your films in theaters, and so on. So let's go ahead and get started. Section 1, Film Theory. Step 1, have a story. You can either make a film based on a book that is already written, or you can create your own original story. Bottom line, filmmaking is about taking a story and bringing it to life. Step 2, determine the locations. Create the various places your main action will occur. For example, if your main character will be spending chief of his time in his bedroom, then you want to go ahead and create the bedroom set first. A good practice is to create multiple versions of the same set to save you time later. This also helps you lower render times. Step 3, character design, or in Hollywood they call this casting. This is the development of each character's personality and is perhaps one of the most important steps in filmmaking. You will spend most of your time actually on step 3, developing the character's personality. Now remember, movies are all about feelings and movies are all about emotions. As a filmmaker, you should always be asking yourself, how does this make me feel? And how would this scene make the audience feel? For instance, if you write a sad death scene where the main character's younger brother dies, as a director, you have to decide how you want the audience to feel about the death of the younger brother. So if you want the audience to be sympathetic, or if you wish to invoke sympathy into the audience, then you have to cast a lovable character to play the younger brother. Lots of time on screen. Make the audience fall in love with the character. Show a deep bond between the main character and his younger brother, so that when the younger brother dies, the audience can feel what the main character feels. When the main character is grieving, the audience will understand why, because the younger brother was very lovable. So let's go over what we have so far. In step 1, we create a story. In step 2, we create our sets, or the locations. And in step 3, we create our characters' personalities. Now let's move forward. In step 4, this is the 3D modeling. This is where you actually create your actors. In Hollywood, they call this casting. As you write your characters in step 3, also begin to develop the look of your characters in 3D software. As a great director, you must ensure that your character's look matches the role for which they are cast. Remember, for faster render times, create low and high poly versions of each character. Now, before we talk about step 5, a quick note about step 4 is to remember that step 4 is very important because it is the casting for your entire movie. So it's important that you cast the actors that match the roles for which they're cast. Now let's talk about step 5. Step 5 is to cast your voice actors. Now this is where you will actually hire voice actors, or if you plan to do everything yourself, you would start to think about how each character speaks and how each character sounds. The voice actor's voice must match the personality of the characters you developed in step 3. And that brings us to the conclusion of Section 1, Film Theory. Step 1, we create a story. In Step 2, we create a set. In Step 3, we develop our characters' personalities, their likes and dislikes, what makes them tick, what makes them happy, and so on. In Step 4, we begin to 3D model and shape the look of those characters. In Step 5, we start to think about how we want each character to sound, and we hire our voice actors. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for Section 2.